Hello and welcome to Only a Podcast. Two blokes upside down and many miles from home talk about popular culture and unpopular culture too. Books, music, films, the news, what we had for dinner last night, everything is fair game. We've no idea what we're doing or why, but we're going to do it.
Hello everyone, welcome to episode 23 of the award-wanting Only a Podcast. Say hello, Captain.
Hello, Captain. Hello, folks. Kia ora whānau. How are we doing? It's all good up here.
Yep, it's all good down here as well.
Yeah.
It's been snowing. We're frolicking in the snow this week.
So I saw, yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
But, yeah, it's all gone in a day.
For the folks who don't know, there's a diagram that often circulates on social media around this time, which is basically the seasons in New Zealand. And we're currently in the week of springtime. And then after that on the diagram comes like a 2.5 month stretch, which is labelled Shitsville.
Yeah, that's it. That's spring.
And then you get another week of spring, and then it goes into summer. So we'll see what happens.
But see how that pans
the weather is very strange these days, so who knows? Yeah.
Right, this episode, we're going to dedicate it to a couple of things, which we only kind of just decided to do because we realised that the Mercury Prize is coming up any day now, and we probably should have been a bit smarter and got onto this for the last episode, but we didn't. So here we are. For those that don't know, the Mercury Prize is a music prize. It's in the UK. 12 albums released that year get nominated for this prize, and a judging panel of experts choose what they deem to be the best album of that year. And it's quite some big names have won it. Do you know who's won it 3 times, Captain? What artist has won it 3 times?
Go on, tell me.
I think it's Radiohead.
3 times.
I think it's Radiohead. I think they won it 3 times.
Yeah,
that might not be true. But so that's coming up. So there's a big ceremony, like an award ceremony for these 12 albums, and all the artists do a live spot at this ceremony, and it's all great. So we thought we should do a fairly deep dive into these albums, and we're going to have a little chat about them.
Let's do that. Yeah,
I know which one's my favourite, I think, but that's not to say it's going to win. So we're going to talk about that, and you've got something to add as well, Captain, have you?
Yes, it's basically I watched the whole of the Taylor Hawkins tribute concert, so you don't have to. So I'm going to be picking out my favourite bits from that and some less than favourite bits.
Yeah, I didn't really see any of that apart from what they showed on the news. So
it was on YouTube Live. I didn't watch it on YouTube Live, but the whole 6 hours was on there for a short amount of time afterwards, so maybe 24 hours. So I dived in. Anyway, we'll come on to that later.
Yes, we will. All right. Well, I'll get the ball rolling. I've got just one little culture catch-up thing to talk about. I went out.
Oh.
Imagine that. I went out.
God.
To a, not really the theatre as such, more like a sort of arts space down here, where there was a production of a show called The Keys Are in the Margarine. I don't know if you've ever heard of this.
No.
It's not the first time it's been done, and it's kind of a conceptual theatre thing, if you like, and there's 4 actors, and it's all about Alzheimer's disease and dementia. And there's 4 actors who play multiple roles throughout the thing, quick costume changes and seating changes and all that. But they each have an earpiece, and in being fed into their ear is real live interviews from dementia sufferers or families and carers or healthcare professionals around dementia, and they're relaying it. So they're saying what's being said in their ear, so they're getting all of the inflections and all of the kind of emotions. So a clever concept. Really, and it was powerful. They're not a dry eye in the house. Really, it was great stuff. So, and apparently it has been done before. So I don't know if this is a kind of concept that other theatre companies do. But look out for it. It's not exactly a laugh a minute, but it's really good. The keys are in the margarine, it's called. So look out for that.
Sounds good.
So I went out and saw it. So that was good.
Yeah.
What you got?
What have I got? Well, I've been in hospital.
Oh
No. Carry on, nurse, and all that. No,
it's not like that, is it?
It's not like that anymore. No, they're far too busy for any shenanigans. But whilst I was in there, I put my old noise cancelling headphones on, which is always a good thing to do.
Your nurse cancelling headphones?
No, nurse cancelling. Yeah.
Thank you. Carry on. Sorry.
And I got into something which I'm not always into, which is a podcast. Good Lord. I know we make them. I know we make one, but listening to one, well, the ideal circumstances, though, just lying there immobile for a while, wondering what to do. And I listened to a BBC podcast, God bless them, called Alexei Sale's Strangers on a Train. And it's a very simple premise. Alexei picks a longish train journey, gets on at the beginning, gets the station announcer to announce that he's on the train with his little recorder, and if people would like to speak to him, they can speak to him. And they speak to him, and he picks out the best bits. And it's incredibly gentle. It's exactly like the kind of thing you want when you're not feeling particularly great. It's not stressful at all, and he picks out the best of the characters that are on there. You know, some of them have got strange hobbies, some of them talk about their journey they're making, and the odd one or two of them just seem to self-promote a little bit, which can be quite interesting. You know, listening to them. Just a little bit full of their own importance sometimes, but there are not too many of those, I have to say. But you just put the odd one of those in, and you think, you know, if I had 10 minutes with Alexei Sale, I wouldn't be saying anything like this. I do, you know, I'd try to be interesting, kind of stuff. But it's great. It's really good if you want some, you know, a quiet Sunday morning listen or something like that. There's 8 episodes. They don't go on too long. They're 20 minutes, 25 minutes.
Yeah.
I listened to the whole lot. It was great. And just what I wanted.
It's funny how you talk about people's sort of reaction to him. It's funny. I don't know if you've ever met any kind of funny people, as in famous funny people. I've met a few, and it's quite hard because, you know, I'm a bit of a joker myself at times. And what do? Do you try and make a joke with them? Do you? Yeah. I remember once, years and years ago, I was at the BBC watching, in the audience of a recording of one of the Reeves and Mortimer, The Smell of Reeves and Mortimer. I was in the audience, and at the end of the show, as they're coming off stage, we were in the front row, and at the end, they're coming off, and Bob is holding a mug with one of their characters on the mug, and he's walking towards me, like to give me this, but I guess he wants to give me this mug. So I'm thinking, oh God, Bob Mortimer's coming towards me. He's coming towards me. What am I going to do? He's looking me in the eye. He's going to talk to me. And he came up to me and he handed me this mug. He said, "Would you like a mug?" And it split second, say something funny. So I said, "Yeah, cheers." That was it.
Yeah. And
off he went. I could have been discovered that night. Everything could have changed if I could have only thought of something witty to say at that point.
Worse, I suppose.
Yeah, I just said thank you very much. So, anyway, I got a mug. So that was nice. And I can say I met Bob Mortimer, I suppose.
Yeah. There is a Shaggy Dog story I know about that, which we may tell. If we go back to doing a joke at the end of the episode, there's one called The Master of Wit and Repartee, which is very long, but it reminds me of that particular situation that someone is put under extreme pressure to say something witty. Anyway, I won't reveal the punchline until we go back to doing jokes again. Yeah,
we must start doing that. Yeah. Getting back to Alexei Sale, he also did these. I was just looking them up there on YouTube a year or two ago. He did these YouTube videos, Alexei Sale's lockdown bike rides, where he just went around London, or not just London. I think he just went around the place on his bike with a GoPro and just doing these videos, just chatting and cycling. So they're quite a good little watch if you're ever kind of surfing around YouTube. They're quite good fun. All right, let's get to it because we've got, I guess, quite a lot to get through here.
Yeah.
So the Mercury Prize. So shall I read the 12 nominees and we'll just go through them one at a time and just have a little chat about them?
Yeah.
Oh, no, I won't read them all. We'll just start at the first one. So the first one is an artist called Fergus McCready. The album's called Forest Floor.
Yeah.
I'll start by saying that he's a jazz pianist, Scottish guy, jazz pianist. One thing about the Mercury Prize is that it's generally quite eclectic. You know, you get all kinds of different albums because, you know, how do you choose the best album? How do you compare heavy metal to rap to jazz? You know, so you get all kinds of genres in there. Although this year I don't actually think it was that broad.
Strange.
Yeah, no, it wasn't. But
I think the point I wrote down earlier was pretty much all of these records could exist in one person's house, as it were. I don't think there's. Well, there might be one or two, but you know, pretty much everyone would be happy with.
Yeah, there's no real outliers out there.
No.
I mean, I've really enjoyed doing this. As I've said before, I don't really listen to a lot of new music these days, and I thought, I need to do this. So I did a kind of brief deep dive of all these. I've really enjoyed doing it, and I've found a couple of gems in there, which we'll come to later. But yeah, I mean, what I'll say about this Fergus McCready album, it's jazz piano. It's not. I didn't think it was particularly remarkable jazz piano, really, and I really don't think it's going to win. But it's good. It's nice.
It's not free jazz, let's put it that way. It's not going to scare the horses too much. If you put this on a Sunday afternoon as background music, you'd be perfectly happy with it.
Yeah, it's kind of dinner party stuff, isn't it, really?
Yeah.
But nice enough. But I'm sure there have been better jazz albums out this year. But there you go. I mean, I did skim it, so maybe the album's a lot better than I'm giving it credit for. I don't know. But from what I picked up, I don't think it's going to win. Let's put it that way. But all good. So we'll move on. So the next one is a really interesting one by an artist called Gweno, and the album's called Tresor. Yep. So it's Tresor. Gweno being Gweno Saunders, a female Welsh singer. Now, here's the thing. This album is done in the Cornish language. Yeah. It's believed to be the first ever, pop rock album done in that language, or that dialect language, whatever you call it. The title Tresor means treasure in Cornish. I quite liked this. What did you think of this one, Captain?
No, I thought it was good, and I guess if we're talking challenging music of any kind, it is. Doing it in a completely different language is challenging to the ear, but it's a kind of pastoral indie rock album. She has a good voice, and I would play it again. Let's put it that way.
Agreed. There's something about listening to a foreign language record, isn't there? Just it's
yeah.
Is it harder or is it easier? I don't know. But when the music's like this, which what I've written down here is kind of bouncy modern folk music. So it's that female singer-songwriter, bit airy, ethereal kind of sounding, I guess, but with a bounce behind it. Looking into her, and I don't know if you did any research into the artist yourself, but she used to be a member of a band called the Pipettes.
Oh, yeah.
I was like, we mentioned them on this podcast before, haven't we? Because another member of the Pipettes, someone called Rose Dougal, has been working with Graham Coxon in this outfit called The Wave. Yeah. So she came out of that. So Gweno Tresor. I liked it.
It's kind of interesting that Pipettes were kind of retro 60s pop type arrangement, and the constituent parts of Pipettes have now gone into their own.
Doing different stuff.
They maybe always wanted to do, but
that's right. Yeah. But I liked it. It. It was good, and it does kind of illustrate the diversity that you do get with the Mercury Awards. And an album, a foreign language. I suppose you can call it a foreign language, can't you? A foreign language album. Cornish.
If you're going to be into the Cocteau Twins or Caleb Bon or
that's it. I was trying to
kind
with
of
most
stuff,
of these. With most of them, I've written down comparisons. For this one, I couldn't. But you're absolutely right. That's Cocteau Twins gets it. I think it's that kind of reverb laden vocal kind of thing, isn't it? So good stuff. Next one's a tricky one to judge, I think. It's Harry Styles.
Yeah.
Harry's house.
Global superstar Harry Styles. What are you doing? What is he doing in the Mercury Prize? What is he doing?
Well,
he's surely far too big.
This is it. I mean, as I said, Radiohead have won it 3 times before, and all sorts of people have won it, PJ Harvey and all kinds. But this took me back to something we talked about a few episodes ago about, mainstream pop stars who became serious artists. Mm-hmm. And we ruled him out, but I don't know if we should, because I've given this a proper listen and known that he was the writer, the main writer. I think it's great stuff. I think it's, it is what it is. It's pop music, but it's of the highest quality, I think. I think it's really good stuff. And it's easy to dismiss boy band members as just, faces and voices. But I think, he's got a bit more about him, this lad. I think it's impressive.
Yeah. It's a strange... the Mercury seems to have just moved a little bit a bit
more centre, eh?
Yeah, into the centre towards recent years, and things like this can now be included. I guess there were, I vaguely remember in the early days, criticisms of being far too strange for a lot of people. If you're going to engage with a music prize, then you have to engage with the music. And if you're going to have such a broad list of stuff, and it's also a bit weird, most of it, then you're going to go, well, what's that? Wouldn't be listening to that, would I? So
maybe it's gone a bit more mainstream. They've got a new sponsor now. I can't remember what they're called. They've got a new sponsor, but maybe that has something to do with it. I don't know, but
who knows?
I mean, in its purest form, this is about what they feel is the best album released in that year. So fair play. I think it might win. I wouldn't be surprised if it won.
Oh, is that your choice?
No, it's not.
Oh, okay.
But I wouldn't be surprised if it won.
It's not mine either.
No, I don't think it's going to.
No.
But I wouldn't be surprised. I remember, I don't know about now, but it used to be the actual prize for this was like £20,000, wasn't it, or something? As a kind of kickstart, because this was really for new artists.
Yeah.
A lot of new artists won it. Let's put it that way, and it kickstarted a few careers, didn't it? But but I reckon Harry Styles might win it, but it wouldn't be my choice.
No.
Next one's another good one. Jessie Buckley and Bernard Butler. The album is called For All Our Days That Tear the Heart. Sorry, I've read that slowly because I've written it down. I haven't got my glasses on. So Jessie Buckley, for those that don't know, she first kind of rose to popularity taking part in one of these reality shows where, was it Andrew Lloyd Webber, one of those things where they like a talent show thing to get a part in a West End show, and she came second in that, I think. Since then, she's gone on to do lots of acting stuff, lots of acting credits to her name. She's Irish, and she got introduced to Bernard Butler, who, for those that don't know, was the guitarist in Suede, and he's worked with all sorts of people, and he's a bit of a hero of mine. I think he's just an all-round great guy, Bernard Butler, and they got introduced somehow through their management or something, and they ended up having a Zoom call, and turns out that Jessie Buckley lived and grew up where Bernard Butler used to go for his family holidays, because his family's Irish, so they had a connection there, and they recorded this record. And coincidentally, I'd just been listening to an interview with him just last week on the Contenders podcast. He was talking about how this record was made. Basically, they sat down at his kitchen table and just with a microphone and a laptop and just pretty much wrote the songs and recorded them just like that. And then he went away and, kind of sprinkled his magic on them. And that's what you're hearing. So they're pretty much demos, what you're hearing. What did you make of it? Any view on this?
Since you mentioned to me the Graham Coxon collaboration the other week, which we just mentioned, and I instantly got out of my head. I like this a lot better than that. Yeah, Jessie Buckley has a very sort of Laura Marling, Joni Mitchell kind of voice.
Beautiful voice. And, so this is acoustic folk music, essentially. We're talking about here. Yeah.
I I enjoyed singing much more than some things I've heard lately. Yeah. So again, another one to re-listen to and keep listening to.
Yep, definitely. There is a Spotify playlist, by the way, of
there is
three tracks from each of these albums. So that's if you want to dive in and have a check them out, then there's a good Spotify playlist there.
We'll put a link. We'll put a link up to that on our webpage. No doubt.
No doubt. Well, some doubt. I don't know. You do the webpage, not me. So I'm not promising anything.
So if I remember.
Yeah. So another good one, but I don't think it's going to win.
No.
The next one, Joy Crooks. The album's called Skin. It's a debut album. I think 23-year-old Londoner. A lot of these artists are from London, actually, which,
That London. Right.
That London kind of urban. And Joy Crooks is doing what you might call soul, jazzy, R&B.
Yeah.
I think...
Ghost of Amy Winehouse hovering in the background.
Just about to say, if you like Amy Winehouse, you must listen to Joy Crooks. There's some that kind of Phil Spector kind of production going on. There's also some Motown, some quite hard and heavy Motown rhythm section stuff going on as well as the more light soulful stuff. I think this is my favourite album of the lot. If I was voting, this would be the one I would vote for. Mm-hmm. Do I think it's going to win? No, I haven't decided who I think is going to win, by the way. I'm deciding as I go along.
I might push you at the end.
No, talking out loud. No, I think I know who I'm going to go for. Okay. But this is my favourite of the albums, this Joy Crooks one. Do give it a listen. She's 23 years old, from London. I think her ethnic background is Indian and Irish or something like that. So, good stuff. What did you make of it?
It's completely, really sort of passed me by a bit, Okay. I'm not, I know where it's coming from, and I don't know. I don't really sort of go down that path.
Right, that neo soul kind of thing.
Yeah, and the music I listen to, Sharon Jones, Leon Bridges, that kind of thing. It's all right. It's okay, but not really my kind of thing.
Fair enough. The next one, Koj Radical, is the artist. Reason to Smile.
The only one I hadn't heard of. Let's put it that way.
Another Londoner.
Yep.
Again, I think kind of Ghanaian family background. I think it was Ghanaian. He's actually a mixed media artist. He doesn't just do music, he does other stuff. It's that kind of hip hop, grime, spoken word, rap thing. Yeah. I feel a little uncomfortable talking about this kind of music, so I don't really feel like I understand it enough to use the right words. But I'll say it's got a very, very London sound. Yeah. 21st century modern urban London sound. Yeah. And that's all throughout this list, I think. There's a lot of that. If you like grimy, hippie-hoppy, rappy stuff, it's all out there. Lyrics are good. It's a bit political, all that stuff.
Yeah. Did I detect a whiff of auto-tune? I'm not sure, but I'm not...
Mate, I'm using auto-tune on this podcast, so...
Look, I know we use it, but... We need it. I don't know. I like my rappers from the 90s, to be honest. Although, that said, the next album coming up, I do have more to say about that.
Yeah.
It's not been produced for me, Koj Radical. I get the craft of it, and I get the lyrical content, but
doesn't float your boat.
It's not my kind of thing.
Yeah, fair enough.
I could willingly bash on a Public Enemy album and turn up the volume, but some of the newer stuff just doesn't hit with me at all.
As I was sort of saying, I don't really understand it, rap music. It's not to say I don't like it or appreciate it, because every now and again there is something that comes along and I think, oh, that's awesome. But I don't know what it is. Do you know what I mean? So I'm not in that. I don't immerse myself in that music. I loved Eminem when he came along. Those first couple of Eminem albums, I thought they were awesome. But I don't know why. I don't know why I thought they were awesome. Maybe I need to... No, I'm too old. Too old to learn all that. I'll stick with the Beatles.
Well, if you're too old.
Yeah.
Anyway.
So you mentioned the next one. Why don't you kick off the next album then on the list?
Little Sims, female rapper. Sometimes I Might Be Introvert, I think is the album, and it's a rap album. And I have to say, when I heard the lead single of it, which I think is called Introvert, what an amazing piece of business that is. Orchestral backing, and wow, that's an amazing track. I wasn't so blown away by the rest of the album, but of the rap oriented things that are on this list, I think the Little Sims one is streets ahead of anything else.
This won the Six Music Album of the Year last year.
I'm surprised.
Her previous album, which was called Grey Area, won Best Album at the Ivor Novello Awards and the NME. So it's a bit of pedigree. This isn't a debut album. I think it's her third album. But I thought it was quality. Again, a Londoner. She acts as well. She's been in some stuff. It's that London, that urban London sound, and you can spot it. Or I certainly can. It really just sounds so London.
But the production piled on top of that. I say piled on top. That sounds like it's slapdash, but it's not. It's created, made it just a cut above. I think it's a very well produced and released record.
So is that your winner, would you say?
Let's wait till we get to the end before I start summing up, I think.
Okay, fair enough.
But it's certainly a pretty powerful statement.
Okay. All right, we've got a few more to go, so we need to up the pace a wee bit, I think. Nova Twins is the next one. The album's called Supernova. It's a female two-piece singer, guitarist and bass player, again from London. I've written down here rap. It wasn't what I was expecting, by the way. I saw the album cover. I'd never heard their stuff. I thought this isn't... And when that noise came out, it's like, this isn't what I was expecting.
Yeah, you were thinking it was the Cheeky Girls, weren't you?
Not quite the Cheeky Girls, but you got rap. I've written rap, metal, punk. I've written if Royal Blood and Skunk and Nancy had a child.
Oh, very good, very good, very good.
Had twins, big Skunk and Nancy influence, I would say, there with some Royal Blood.
Pretty loud.
It's loud, it's dirty, and I really liked it.
It seems it's a tougher kind of thing, more guitar oriented than the kind of thing that Charlie XCX does. But I prefer to listen to Charlie rather than the Nova Twins, to be honest.
Okay.
But there you go.
Well, I'm going to give them another listen because I thought it was really interesting, and I think this is going to win.
Do you?
Yep.
Ooh,
just because it's very Mercury Prize.
Okay.
I think this is going to win.
Cool.
So we'll see, and I'll just edit a new bit in before we release this.
Cut that bit out. Stick
a bit in so we can show that we can pick the winners. But I thought that was the most interesting record out of all these.
Cool.
Next one, Self-Esteem is the artist. The Prioritised Pleasure is the name of the album. Rebecca Taylor.
Indeed.
Not from London, from Rotherham, to a northern lass. She used to be in a folk duo, Slow Club. Remember them?
Yeah.
Slow Club, yes. She was part of Slow Club.
But this ain't that.
This ain't that. Yes. Again, it's similar to, I think, maybe it's similar to the other couple of female artists we had, Joy Crooks and Little Sims. It's somewhere in between those, I'd say.
It's a big banging pop album.
Yeah, it is.
Less of the soulful stuff and more of the electronic things, I'd imagine.
It was kind of a gold frap, maybe kind of vibe, gold frap.
Yeah.
That kind of thing. Yeah. So, if you like gold frap, check out Self-Esteem.
Tell Terrible name, I have to say.
Yeah, awful. It's got to be Googleable, right?
Well, no, it's not, basically, because there's another couple of those coming up, which are not.
Yeah.
Nobody, they don't care these days, I tell you.
No, they don't.
No.
Sam Fender, 17 going under. I'm sure a lot of you will have already heard of Sam Fender. He's one of those singer-songwriter type people, one of those Jamie T type characters. Reading up about him, he's a Geordie lad, sings in a Geordie accent, which I always like. I always like artists when they sing in their regional accent. That's great. From North Shields. Looking into him, he had quite a troubled childhood. Tough times, I won't go into it all now. And he's had his own health problems, causing him to cancel tours and things like that. He's been championed by Elton John, though. Elton's a big fan, which he's famous for doing that, isn't he? Finding young artists and helping them along the way. I think he gave him a support slot and stuff like that. Well, it's that indie pop, indie rock, guitar-based singer-songwriter thing, isn't it, really?
Frank Turner-y kind of thing going on.
Kind of thing. Quite political again.
I'd just like to say he is not the new Springsteen.
He's not,
He's a very naughty boy. No, he is good for the festival appearances where the crowd can learn every single one of his lyrics and sing along.
Yeah, it's the George Ezra kind of thing, isn't it?
Yeah, the man doesn't have to sing. He just has to stop singing and put his hand behind his ear. Yeah. And the crowd will know every single one of his songs.
Yep. But it appeals to the 20-somethings, they love that. Absolutely. That's great. Yeah. And it's good that these songwriters are coming through. They're not all sitting behind computers making music. He's got his guitar out and he's got a proper band, and it's all great. Yeah.
And I do hope that if the Mercury Prize is a prize of, shall we say, slightly edgy innovation, or if they want to retain any an iota of that kind of feel, don't vote for the same album.
No, this can't win. No, it's not. You want innovation, right? You want something you haven't heard before.
I played it once. I don't need to play it again.
Okay, moving on. Wet Leg. We don't need to say much about Wet Leg, do we?
We've said it before.
We've said it before. Unless you've been under a rock for the last 12 months, they are the big thing. Their song "Chaise Long" was a huge hit along the online things, the TikToks or whatever they call them. Female two-piece from the Isle of Wight in England. It's guitar-based indie pop. Can't really say more than that. Hugely successful. They've been supporting Harry Styles, or will be supporting Harry Styles in Australia and New Zealand. Yeah. Upcoming shows. Don't need to say much more about Wet Leg, really, so we won't. We'll move on. So the last one. Yard Act, which I think you know quite well, don't you? I think we've talked about it.
I did listen to them. We did talk. They're sort of, along with like Idols, Fontaines DC. They're the kind of post-punk band that with declaimed vocals, not sung so much. Dry Cleaning's another band which I do prefer. I have to say. The Yard Act album is called The Overload. Yep. And no,
four-piece from Leeds, from Yorkshire. Again, singing in the vernacular, which I like a lot, as I just said.
I feel honour bound to support them because they're from Leeds, but no, they are not the Fall. And
well, it's anyway. Interesting how we've got the same kind of observations here, because I've written down the Fall / Arctic Monkeys. Yeah, there's a lot of that going on. It's that kind of regional dialect spoken, clever lyrics.
The laziest album sleeve I've seen in a long time. Get a bloody designer. Yard Act. Hopeless.
Brilliant.
Anyway.
Brilliant. So that's our 4. Our 12 albums.
So I'm going to push you and say we should pick one that we think will win.
Yep.
And maybe one that is your favourite. They may not be the same thing.
The album I'm going to listen out of this list, well, not just one, but The ones I will certainly be listening to again is Joy Crooks. I've already listened to that one again. Nova Twins, I want to have a proper listen to the album, so I've only really skimmed it. So I want to have a good listen to that. Now you've raved about Little Sims far more than I did. I'll revisit Little Sims again. And the Bernard Butler one I would have listened to anyway, I think. So I've discovered some great music off this list. I think it's great. As I said, I think Nova Twins will win.
Okay.
I think if Mercury Prize is true to form, but I would not be surprised if Harry Styles or Wet Leg won it.
Yeah.
It's an open goal, right? Wet Leg. It's just, right, that's the voting done. Let's go to the bar kind of thing, isn't it, for the panel? It's an open goal.
Yeah.
What do you reckon?
I don't know. I'm going to continue to listen to Little Sims. I've been interrupted by lots of other albums, but it's still sitting there in my sort of regular listening playlist and has been for quite some time. I will go back to the Jessie Buckley and Bernard Butler album purely because that's the one I've probably listened to least, and I like the way she sings. Really nice. I don't get Wet Leg. I'm sorry. So that's not one I'll be listening to. The thing I think will win, I'm going to go completely out on a limb and pick the Self-Esteem album.
Okay. Yeah. But not?
Maybe the one that I would like to win is the challenging one, I think. The Little Sims one I'd really like. I think that I wouldn't be at all unhappy if that got the prize. I know it's won things already, but is the Mercury Prize committee thinking, it's already won things, let's not pick that one? Well, they're fools if they think that way. You shouldn't let anything like that sway your opinion.
That's right.
So we shall see.
Okay.
So there you go, folks. There will be some new stuff to listen to, no doubt.
There will be.
Or maybe not. Maybe you've listened to all of them already.
Yeah.
But as we said, we'll put the link to the playlist up, and you can listen to 3 songs from each one. See which one you like.
Yeah. Good.
Yeah.
Right. I think we've gone on long enough. So should we just call it a day right now?
Well, I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah, we have.
I've got nothing else to say. I'm done.
Cool. I need to do some other stuff I've got planned for next time around.
Oh, yeah. I've got a whole load of stuff that I was going to put on this list on this episode. But it's all right. It can wait. I've got all day.
Yeah.
You've got all day.
Cool.
Okay. All right. Well, I think you should probably say goodbye, Captain.
Goodbye, Captain.
See you later, folks. Don't forget to follow, like, subscribe, tweet, poke, share, and all those things.
Yeah, do that.
And do all that. And we'll see you next time. See you later. Bye.
See you, folks. Bye.
You've been listening to Only a Podcast. If you would like to get in touch and share your feedback and ideas, we'd love to hear from you. Go to onlyapodcast.com, or you can find us at Only a Podcast on Twitter and Instagram, or via our Facebook page. Remember, it's only a podcast.